Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Unlimited video. I am back from my first PQ, so a little update from there. I got 11th out of 116, so bubbled the top 8, which is a little bit heart-wrenching, but it is what it is. I will be doing an update about all my PQs, I think, later, because life is a bit ridiculously busy right now. But I really just want to talk about set 3 cards because we got some news this week that I think the entire set's getting spoiled, so I need to catch up, because otherwise I'm going to do a 2-hour video at the next week, which I don't think anyone wants. So let's jump into this, but first, sponsorship giveaway. Check out this information. Hello, just a quick reminder to enter my giveaway for the upcoming premiere event happening for Star Wars Unlimited. This is happening in Birmingham, and I'm giving away 2 tickets in partnership with Organised Plate Events, who are organising the event. Look, you can win a paid flight to the Galactic Championships. You also win a case if you win this whole thing. Free tickets. All you have to do, check links in the description, fill out the Gleam entry form. You just have to follow me, follow OP, that sort of stuff. 2 tickets on offer. Check back at the end of the month and on the community tab to see who has won. Subscribe to the channel, obviously, and yeah, enjoy the video. Pre-recorded. Okay, let's go. Wolfpack Escort. Oh god. So, 1 drop 2/1, when played, bounce a friendly non-leader non-vehicle unit to its owner's hand. Why would you want to play this? Primarily because you want to basically save something that's going to die anyway, or your opponent has upgraded something a load. So this is something that I think, like Confiscate, it's going to be one of those cards that, depending on the meta, depending on the sort of threats that we see in it, might be like a staple, or might be absolute garbage, but definitely one to keep an eye out for. I mean, I wouldn't sleep on this card. Like, it's a 1 drop 2/1 that like has an effect that can be relevant. Like, it's a you may, so like, if nothing else, it's just an aggressive ship. Like, yeah, good card. Next, we've got Luminara Unduli. So this is very much Luke Skywalker at home. It's a 7 drop 4/9 with Coordinate Grit, and then when played, choose a base, heal 1 damage from it from each unit you control. So obviously, this becomes very, very strong when the Coordinate is online. In particular, I'm thinking of this in a Han 2 blue deck, where it comes in as a 6/7 with Coordinate online, which is, you know, reasonably easy to do in that deck. And then it's going to heal like potentially 3 or more. And the fact that this can, the thing is, right, like, we need to see how easy it is to just spam tokens with this, but you can imagine a world where like this heals 5, 6, 7, which could be extremely relevant. So I wouldn't sleep on this card. I think it's pretty strong. It's not going to be replacing Luke Skywalker anytime soon, but it doesn't need to. It's just like another one, right? Next, we've got Self-Destruct. This is a 2 drop black-red, defeat a friendly unit. If you do, deal 4 damage to a unit. So 4 damage is significant. I think for me, one of the most significant parts about this card is this lets you hit 7 with Tarkin Town, which is a very relevant HP threshold to be hitting. And it also lets you deal the damage to leaders, so I think this is relatively good. I mean, obviously you have to sack your own thing, so ideally you're going to be sacking a droid token. And the fact you can't deal the damage to base does definitely make this card way worse. I wish it was 5 damage, but that would probably be too good. This is essentially like open fire, but for 2 cost, and you have to sack something. I think this is good, but I don't know how much play it'll see. Alright, next we've got our first of many new leaders. I've been away for a little bit. We've got Quinlan Voss. So this is our hero Hero White. When you play a unit, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit that costs the same as the played unit. So I think if you're playing on curve, this is just going to be reading ping 1 every turn. Kind of like Cad Bane. Slightly more restrictive, but like you get to choose. So, okay, fine. Deploys on 5. 3/7. When you play a unit, you may deal 1 damage to an enemy unit that costs the same as or less than the played unit. So I think this is very, very solid. I mean, you know, if you play the new yellow base and you do this as a double yellow leader, it's a 4/7 Boba stats. Okay, we're cooking. I think, you know, it's never going to be the double yellow Boba deck, primarily because it doesn't have Fet's Fire Spray or Fet's Armor, but this is definitely not bad. I mean, it's a deploys on 5, 3/7 hero yellow leader. Like, we did not have a viable yellow hero leader outside of Han for a while, so this is definitely potentially viable. Force traded, Jedi traded, Republic traded. I think there's potential here. Solid ability. I see my camera has just decided to brick itself, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off, so I'm not just being here frozen. But yeah, I like this card. Okay, next we've got Chancellor Palpatine. Oh mama. So this is a 4 drop double yellow 2/6 Republic official. Each token unit you create enters play ready. On attack, if a unit left play this phase, create a clone trooper token. So this is potentially very, very powerful, right? because you're just making a 2/2 with Rush, right? Except it can go face as well. A 4-drop 2/6 is not bad. And I think this is such a widely applicable ability that, like, I mean, 6 is sticky. Like, this is very good because it's not a 4/4/6, which would be unreal, but it is a 4/2/6, which is out of takedown range and it's out of Fell the Dragon range, and it's something that's going to be very, very annoying. And ultimately, you just sit there and go, "Are you going to pump 6 damage into this? Because if so, cool. If not, I'm happy either way." Yeah, good card. I don't know if you're going to play this in Boba, but I do like this a lot. All right. Next, we've got Anakin's Interceptor. This is where the fun begins. So if your base has 15 more, while your base has 15 or more damage on it, this unit gains +2/+0. So early game it's just a 2/3, fine, but mid to late game it's a 4/3 for 2. I think that's pretty good. And then we have got Soldier of the 501st. This is a bad card. All right, next we got Sandhill, and this card is kind of nuts, kind of terrible. Kind of hard to know how good it actually is. So it's a 6-drop 3/7 in yellow-black with exploit 3, so you can play this for free. On attack, for each friendly unit that was defeated this phase, ready a friendly resource. So obviously this is an ECL card, right? You ECL this in potentially for free and then untap X amount of resources. You can imagine Boba flip turns where you get 15 resources, right? Not 15, 10 resources. 10 and 11 resources very, very easily. If you are able to use all those resources, this is absolutely broken, right? Like, if you're able to literally have a curve where you can... I mean, if your opponent's having a 4-resource turn, right, and you're having a 10, it's pretty good. You know, a 10, well, technically 16 because you're exploiting out Sandhill, right? How often is that going to happen? How consistent is going to be? Very unlikely. ECLing in a 3/7 isn't ideal. That being said, like, it's untapping your board, so, like, you know, I don't know. I think we're just going to have to play with this card. I think the upside potential is unreal, and in particular, it's just such a threat in any exploit-based deck. Like, you just sit there, even if we ignore the Boba world, right, and we just think about, and ignore the ECL world, like, this sits here, and you have to go, okay, I need to deal with that 7 HP body, which my opponent may have just played for, like, 2. Otherwise, they're going to start untapping resources every turn, which is going to be crazy. So, I don't know, I'm very high on this card. I think it's quite strong, but we'll need to make it work. Right, next we've got Political Pressure. So this is the 1-drop yellow event. Choose an opponent. They may discard a random card from their hand. If they don't, create 2 Battle Droid tokens. This card seems very good to me. So I think that there was a lot of comparisons made when it was revealed to, like, Force Throw and how that isn't played and everything. And I'm like, yeah, but Force Throw lets your opponent choose. This is letting your... And, like, they can just discard a dead card and, like, it might not do nothing to the game plan and you've lost a card, right? The worst case scenario here is your opponent, like, is you pay 1, you lose a card from your hand, and your opponent, like, randomly discard something that's bad. A lot of the time, I think your opponent's just going to give you the droid tokens because they're going to be like, well, I don't want to lose a card here. And actually, like, the droid tokens can be very, very valuable for 1. I mean, like, 1 cost and a card to reduce the cost of something by 4 potentially seems quite good, especially if it's the next action and they can't answer the droid tokens. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this card has potential. Definitely potential. Right, next we've got Bold Resistance. Choose up to 3 units that share the same trait. Each of those units gains +2/+0 for the phase. I'm very interested to experiment with this card, because the idea of buffing my board by +6 for 3 is crazy, but, like, how often are we going to have these wide trait boards, right? Like, we'll need to see. Private Manufacturing. Draw 2. If you control no token units, put 2 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. This seems nuts, but we'll need to see. I mean, because if you're consistently getting tokens, like, just draw 2 for 2 is very, very strong. I mean, like, we had a red card that drew 2, but it cost 3, so that's, like, significantly worse. But this, like, is definitely something interesting, and this, in the context of Prey Vizsla, is going to be very, very interesting, which we'll come to in a moment. But yeah, bear this card in mind with Prey Vizsla. Next, we've got Tri Droid Suppressor. So this is a 7-drop 4/7 with exploit 2. So if I play this for 5, it's a 5-drop 4/7, little bit above rate, a little bit expensive for what it is, but a 3-drop 4/7 is nuts. When played, exhaust an enemy ground unit. Fantastic card, absolutely fantastic card. You know, yeah, just very, very strong. Next, we got What's Tambor. We're really, you know, I'm powering through this as fast as I can. So, action. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give a unit +2/+2 for the phase. This is really interesting. Really, really interesting. And kind of like, I have no idea how to build this, but like, I'm very interested in this thing that rewards you for exploiting by buffing your own units. Worth saying as well, like, you can use this to get an absolutely insane, overwhelming barrage up and running. Deploys on 5, so another huge thing here. 3/6 on 5, which is fine. It's not great. On attack, if a friendly unit was defeated this phase, you may give another unit +2/+2 for the phase. So the same ability on flip. I think ultimately, like, the fact this deploys on 5 is going to help you pressure board is the main thing. And I'm very interested to build around this card. I wonder what route we're going to want to take here. Is this going to be like our first double green like leader, which we just want to lean full into it? I mean, outside of Palp, really, like, where we want to be like sacking off our own things and actually playing these double green sack cards to like buff board and apply a huge amount of pressure. This comes out on 5, which means you're going to be able to not get blown out by aggro necessarily as hard. So I'll be very interested to see. Very, very interested to see indeed. All right, then we got some cards from Spiel, and these are kind of nuts. So Admiral Trench is a 7-drop 5/5 that's green-black. With exploit 1. When played, return up to 3 units that were defeated this phase from your discard pile to your hand. So I am a huge fan of this card in response to things like, you know, when you get super laser blasted and you go, okay, Trench, get them all back. That is massive. Absolutely massive. So I'll be very, very interested to see how this card tests in those situations. I mean, this is sort of like, you know, the better version of Emperor's Legion, which we were, you know, playing in some green decks before in response to these like super laser blasts. So this is a better version of that, I think, because it comes with a body. Next we have got Ahsoka Tano. This is a 3-drop 3/4 yellow hero legendary. While you control fewer units than an opponent, including this unit gains ambush. So it's only going to gain ambush when your opponent has at least 2 things. And then action, pay 2, return this unit and each upgrade on her to their owner's hands. I think this is very, very, very strong. Being able to just like bounce your shit back to your hand. Like, it's a 3/4, it's reasonably easy to kill, especially when you ambush it in. So you have this amazing ability to just like gain that value by like keeping the card in hand and then just resourcing it on the next turn when you've got some extra resources left over to gain back card advantage. It's Force Jedi Republic traded. It's a 3/4 ambusher. I think this is just really, really good. I'm a big fan. Shout out to the Twin Sons playmat, which I'll be picking up. If anyone has one of these, let me know, please. I want it. Okay, another absolutely insane card here. So we've got Poggle the Lesser. This is a 2-drop green-black. 1/4. So just to clarify, this is very slightly below rate. Like very, very slightly. It is Separatist and Official traded. So very good trades there. When you play another unit, you may exhaust this unit. If you do, create a battle droid token. This is crazy. This is going to sit there and it's going to give you value turn after turn after turn after turn. Unless your opponent immediately answers it. And then if they're using it, if they're answering a Poggle with removal, okay, I don't mind. You wasted removal on a 1/4. Yeah, I think this card fucks. I think this card actually just fucks. I am very, very high on this card. All right, next we've got Morgan Elspeth. So this is a 4-drop 3/6. So reasonable stats there. Force, Imperial, and Official. Restore 1. On attack, you may defeat another friendly unit. If you do, draw a card. I like this card. I think it's very, very good. Obviously, this card and something like Wat Tambor is going to be very, very strong, right? You to start getting those buffs spread around. But it's just good in like converting some of your like token units basically into draws. Kind of like just getting Palp's ability like again on a given turn. It's a 3/6. It's a Force traded 3/6 for 4. Like restore 1 adds up. This is an annoying card to deal with. I imagine this like suited up with an upgrade as well could be really annoying. Like this card with a blaster, like a 5/6 restore 1 on 4 is pretty good. Yeah, I think this card's very, very nice. I like it. Another legendary, Satine Kryze. This is a 4-drop 0/6 Mandalorian Official. Blue-white. Each unit, including enemy units, gains action. Discard cards from an opponent's deck equal to half this unit's remaining HP, rounded up. So, this card is hilarious. I think it's terrible now. I think you'll probably end up siding it for the hard control mirrors. I think that may happen, but anyway, probably not. I think this card is going to be terrible until it's absolutely broken, which will be when we hit a critical mass of milk cards. So keep an eye out for that Worth saying, the turn she comes in, if you've got a couple units on the board, you can play her and then just go mill. So she's not like dead the turn she comes in. Alright, next we've got Padme Amidala. It says a 2-drop, yellow-white, 1/4 coordinate. On attack, give an enemy unit -3, -0 for the phase. So I think people are pretty down on this card. It's good stats, like it's slightly below rate. It's Republic official traded, Naboo traded. The coordinate is not great, but I wouldn't write it off. I mean, like, fundamentally, like, giving something -3 attack can be very, very relevant if your deck is trying to just survive. So if you're able to just like generate a board wide enough, which you very well may do, into some of these aggro decks, which this is going to be good against, neutering your opponent's aggro until they deal with a 4 HP unit could be pretty good. And if they're dealing with a 4 HP unit, that's just saved you 4 HP. So I don't know. I think people are writing off this card. I think it's going to be nice into aggro. Not great outside of that though. Okay, next we got a double blue card here, Duchess's Champion. This is a 4-drop 1/8. While an opponent controls 3 or more units. God, my English is awful today. While an opponent controls 3 or more units, this unit gains Sentinel. Interesting. A 1/8 Sentinel. Now, if you put any upgrade on this, it's going to be nuts. I really like this card because of just how annoying it is. Like, it fits really well because your opponent, like as an aggro deck, they're going to want to just keep putting out big things, and you're going to sit there and go, you want to keep putting out big things? Cool. Soak 8 HP into this. I think this is going to be a really nice card for double blue. I like it a lot. Okay, boys, we got my favorite leader. One of my favorite leaders for sure. I mean, Dooku's still very close to my heart, but this card is crazy. All right, Yoda. This makes me want to play blue-white really, really badly. So, action. If a unit left play this phase, draw a card, then put a card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck. Okay, so we get some additional consistency here, which, can I just say, this on its own is really strong. It is really, really strong. It's any unit, so even if it was your unit that left play, that's fine, it's going to count. So but obviously, if you're using your own removal on your opponent, then they're going to get absolutely screwed by you removing their unit, and you get to filter. Okay. That's pretty good. What's the flip? 7-drop, flipped on 7, 4/9, Force Jedi Republic traded. All of that is very good. Restore 2, also very good. When deployed, you may discard a card from your deck. That just means mill. If you do, defeat an enemy non-leader unit that costs the same as or less than the discarded card. This is crazy. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, firstly, this is just like, basically this lets you just nuke anything on flip, right? Like, that's what this does, right? Your opponent plays out a big thing and you go, cool, I'm going to remove one of your things, I'm going to Yoda effect, I'm going to stack a big card on top of my deck, I'm going to deploy my Yoda, I'm going to mill it, and I'm going to nuke your thing. That's the game plan, right? Very, very strong. This is looking like an amazing control leader. It's also going to let you stabilize really well against aggro. Like, I think aggro is going to have a really, really tough time into this leader. But you are my only hope with this effect is unreal, right? So you are my only hope. If you don't remember, it's a 3-drop white that says, look at the top card of your deck, play it for 5 less. If or you may play it for 5 less. If you have, I think it's 5 or less damage remaining on base or whatever, or like you're about to die, play it for 3 instead. So Yoda just guarantees you consistency there, right? Like, you just go, cool. Like, it's not something you're necessarily going to be able to do like super early in the game, but you might if you just trade units. Trade unit on resource 5, on resource 5, and then Yoda effect, stack a Luke. You're my only hope. Play out Luke. -6/-6. Unreal power, right? If you actually get to do that. And I think that's going to be pretty consistent. So I'm very, very hard on this. I think as well, if you go into yellow, then you get to play like, now there are 2 of them, and you can do all sorts of cost cheating shenanigans. You get to play the new R2, you get to play all the really good yellow hero stuff, like Spark of Rebellion. So I am very, very, Millennium Falcon, new Ahsoka. I am super high on this leader. I cannot wait to play it. Super, super excited. All right. Unlimited power. This is a 6-drop double red. Deal 4 damage to a unit, 3 damage to a second unit, 2 damage to a third unit, and 1 damage to a fourth unit. So this deals 10, spread across 4 units. You have to hit your own things if they exist. A lot of people have been saying this card is not great. I think those people probably don't appreciate that, like, sometimes you don't have Overwhelming Barrage, or you don't have a unit to put Overwhelming Barrage onto. I think this card is quite strong. Firstly, we have to understand we're in the context of a token format, so those last two are probably going to hit your opponent's tokens. Like, very likely, they're probably going to hit something. I think the paradigm of the game is shifting. But secondly, I think just dealing 7 damage like this is very strong, and I think of this in the context of like Mace Windu or something, where I just go, oh yeah, like that makes sense, right? Like, you use this in Mace, you deal a shitload of damage to the whole board, you use Mace's leader ability to deal another 2 damage to something, and then you deploy and you just board wipe, and then the board is reset, and then you go from there. So I mean, that's like that's one way I would see it. I'm sure there's going to be other decks, other things to do, but yeah, I think this is very, very strong, potentially. It is very expensive, it is awkward to use, and I think it's very niche in the applications it's going to have. So like, I think in the decks it's going to be good, and it's going to be really good, but it's going to be a very, very small number. ATTE Vanguard. This is just bad reinforcement walker. No, we've already seen that card. Okay, we got some crazy ones here. Alright. Ahsoka's Padawan Lightsabers is another starter deck card. 1-drop white, attached to a non-vehicle unit. When played, if the attached unit is Ahsoka Tano, you may attack with a unit. So, this is really good. If you are playing like an Ahsoka leader, this is, I mean, it pains me that the Ahsoka leader is kind of bad. This with the Ahsoka character is also very, very good. And in general, it's just like a 1-drop +2/+0 upgrade. Like, I think that's decent. I think you would probably play that. But it's a little tenuous. What is not tenuous is Grievous's Wheelbike. This is just Darksaber for everything in black. Like, this is all this is, right? And for Grievous, it's crazy, right? In Grievous decks, this is a 3-of, like, cool. In non-Grievous decks, I still think you probably seriously consider playing this, right? Like, you give the unit Overwhelm, you give it +3/+3. It's not as good as Darksaber, but you don't need to be in green or a Mandalorian for it. And you have Overwhelm, which in many cases is going to be more valuable than just having that extra 1 power. So, holy shit, what a card. This card's crazy. I think this is going to see a lot of play. Next, we've got Encouraging Leadership. Buffs your whole board by 1/1. I don't think this is going to be good. Generic 3/4 in space. I think this is pretty decent. We may be past the point of stats being all that matters in space, though. Drop in. This artwork is sick. I really want a hyperspace. Create 2 clone trooper tokens. Probably not going to be massively relevant, but I mean, the ability to just make tokens, like, depending on the deck, will be good. Most decks this is going to be quite bad. Subjugating Starfighters. This is a 4-drop 3/3 ambush. When played, if you have the initiative, create a battle droid token. So if you have the initiative, it's a 4-drop 4/4 in space, a 4-drop 4/4 of stats, 3 of those in space, which ambushes. It's fine, probably not going to see play. Droid deployment, 2-drop black, create 2 battle droid tokens. May see play, we'll need to see. This may see play. Dendup's Loyalist is the 2-drop 2/3 with Overwhelm. This is mid. Droid Starfighter, this is a 1-drop 1/2 with Saboteur. This will probably see play in like Tarkin decks and stuff, but outside of that, unlikely. 3-drop 4/3, mid. 5-drop 3/4, this is definitely not good with Restore 2, way too slow. B1 Security Team, this is a 2-drop 3/1 with Sentinel. This might see play. I think this really might see play. I mean, we play a lot of like, 1-drop 3/1s, and there are some 2-drop 3/1s we consider playing. Sentinel's good. Like, this isn't aggro decks, I think, like, definitely could see play, and like, it's Separatist droid trooper traded, so if you tell like Dooku Yellow, you can just make a droid token into this for free. I don't know, I think it's good. Merciless Contest. Each player chooses a non-leader unit they control to defeat those units. I've had so many people calling this bad Power of the Dark Side. Guys, this is second Power of the Dark Side. You just get another one. What the fuck are you talking about? You now get to play 6 Power of the Dark Side. Now, how good is 6 Power of the Dark Side going to be in this new format, assuming there's lots of tokens everywhere? Pretty terrible. But if tokens end up being bad, this is going to be busted, because all the decks that want to be playing Power of the Dark Side would love to play one that makes them sack their own thing to sack another opponent's thing. They would not be complaining about that, right? So, yeah, I mean, this is very good. Now, it's non-leader, so it is way worse. Right, it is way worse. But the advantage is you can have your leader out and it not die with this. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. People who say this card's bad, you're cooked. It's not. In Pursuit, 0 cost. Exhaust a friendly unit if you do exhaust an enemy unit. Interesting. I don't think this is bad, but I don't think this is good either. The fact you need to have something that gets tapped down kind of sucks. Like, I wish it just exhausted for free, but it is what it is. Independent Senator. So this is a 1-drop 0/4 Separatist Official, Action 2, exhaust unit with 4 or less power. I think this is decent, but I just struggle to see the deck it's really going to see play in. Like, in Hero, I'm just going to play Grogu, obviously. So really, I'm going to be looking at Villain. And if I'm in Villain, I'm like, what decks are realistically... I mean, like, I guess this into Boba Yellow is going to be crazy, right? Like, you just sit there with this annoying-ass card every turn and go, nope, nope, nope. So potentially, but I mean, I don't know, paying 2 to just slightly reduce the damage and killing my ability to build board is not ideal. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, Republic Defense Carrier. This is an 11-drop 6/7 Republic Vehicle Capital Ship. This unit costs 1 less to play for each unit controlled by the opponent who controls the most units. So, Twin Sun wording, but realistically, this is going to be a 7 or an 8-drop at the moment. Now, with a load of tokens, you can imagine if your opponent spams out like 4 tokens and they got a couple other units, and you just go, okay, here's my 5-drop 6/7 Space Sentinel. You're going to be pretty happy with that. So, we'll need to see. I think these are the kind of cards where the meta's really going to shape how good they are. Okay, Prey Vizsla. This is another one of my absolute favorite new leaders they've revealed. So this is red-black, 1-drop, 1 cost, deal damage to a unit equal to the number of cards you've drawn this phase. So this doesn't include cards drawn in the regroup phase because that's at the end of the turn. Fine. Okay, that's interesting. So we're going to be rewarded for drawing cards. All right, what's the flip side? 5-drop, 4/6. Okay. While you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this unit gains Saboteur, so it's always going to have Saboteur. That's good. While you have 6 or more cards in your hand, it gains +2/+0. So, immediately, I'm going, this is a dream of, like, a blue deck, right? We played the new blue base. This is Boba stats. And cards like I Am Your Father go to the moon with this, right? If you use I Am Your Father, that either says deal 7 on 4 resources, or draw 3 and deal 3. That's very strong, right? That's very, very strong. Your opponent's not going to want to let you have either of those effects, and you put them in an awful situation where either way that's good for you. I am very, very high on this leader. I'm very, very, very high. I think there's I'm going to be interested to see how we build around this. I really do think blue control is going to be the way to go. Drawing lots of cards and turning the draw power like from red into removal as well is super good. This card with Droid Manufactory, right? So on 3 resources, you draw 2 and then you can just ping 2 with the other one. Like, that's good. That's hitting 2 HP units. There's loads of those. So like that's going to be a really decent turn 1 play. A turn 2 play. I am very excited to see this leader in action. And I think it's so good because you play the hard control and then you just deploy this beast of a leader that's like a 6/7 that's like just going to sit there smashing face and trying to apply pressure and close out the game. I mean, the Boss Blue Shell I think will fit reasonably nicely into this with some differences. But yeah, I don't know. I'm high on it. Brain Invaders is a 4-drop 2/4, easily loses all abilities except for epic actions and can't gain abilities. I think this card is very interesting. I can see it potentially seeing play in something in a sideboard where we're in a meta with like loads of leaders like Palpatine that do something insanely powerful on deploy, and you can maneuver yourself into a situation where you can establish a Brain Invaders and it's going to hang around like just in time. So very, very unlikely to be playable, but I'm glad it exists because it's a card we'll need to be aware of. Next we got OC Sobek. This is a 6-drop green 3/6 exploit 3, so we can play this for free. When played, this unit captures an enemy non-leader ground unit with cost equal to or less than the number of resources paid to play this unit. So this is such an interesting card, right? So the cheaper you play this out, the cheaper the cost of the unit it can capture, which is such interesting design. But the fact that it's cost-based is huge because capturing like a 4, 5, or 6 cost unit can potentially be a little bit challenging. The fact this hit captures 6 costs is very relevant, I think. I think this is really, really strong. Like, really, really strong. And potentially will be seeing play. I think, like, the fact that you can just play it out for 4 and just capture whatever your opponent's played on 4 is relevant. You can use that exploit, like, 1 if necessary. I think it's a very versatile card. I'm interested to see. I think it's good. But I know this card's good. Count Dooku, this card's ridiculous. It's one of the best cards in the set. 8-drop, red-black, 6/6, exploit 2, overwhelm. So firstly, okay, let's stop there. So this should look very reminiscent of Palpatine. Palpatine does 6 damage on entry, and the rest is basically identical. It doesn't have exploit. Well, Dooku says, when played, for each unit you exploited while playing this card, you may deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the power of the exploited unit. This is nuts. This is nuts. This is a 4-drop 6/6 that board clears. Holy shit, dude. This is unreal. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited to play Kylo Reanimator. Oh my god. Like, this is crazy. This card's absolutely nuts, dude. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Like, yeah. Super strong. I don't know what else to say. My beloved. We're coming to the end here. Bo-Katan Kryze. This is a 2-drop, red-black, 2/3. While you control another Mandalorian, this gains Overwhelm and Saboteur. While you control another Trooper, this gains +1/+0. So it's a 2-drop, 3/3 Overwhelm Saboteur. As long as you're playing the Mandalorian Troopers. Good card. Good card. Mad. Okay, this is an interesting legendary. I think this is one of the last ones. So, 7-drop green, 0/0. You may have this unit enter the play as a copy of a non-leader, non-vehicle unit in play, except it gains the clone trait and is not unique. Super interesting. So this card, I think, has a huge amount of potential in the late game decks that want to duplicate some of their really busted cards. And you run this basically as like copies, 4, 5, and 6 of things like Snoke is the big one. If you establish Snoke and then this, that's what a lock, right? Like, that's a crazy lock. What do you do against that, right? You just lose. You basically can't play a unit. And so unless you've got hard removal for like one of the Snokes, and even then there's still a Snoke there, like, yeah. I don't know. I think like this potential to create a board lockdown situation is worth investigating. But I think at the moment, the number of decks it's going to see playing is very niche, but this is a card I've got my eye on for the future. Like, you cannot print a card that says make a duplicate in a game with uniqueness where that isn't potentially very, 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 very relevant. Okay. 5s. 5-drop, 5/5. Saboteur. When you play an event, you may put a clone unit from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card. It's fine. I just like... I don't know what decks you're playing this in, right? Like, I just don't know, like... I just don't know where this fits in. I don't think it's bad. I just don't know where this fits in. Saw Gerrera. This is a 6-drop yellow. My God, red, white, 4/8, raid 2 on attack. If your base has 50 normal damage on it, deal 1 damage to each enemy ground unit. So for me, one of the relevant things here is this kills 7 HP leaders if you ECL it in. So there's that. But like, Wrecker exists. Am I ever playing Saw Gerrera when Wrecker exists? No? Oof. Okay. Anakin Skywalker. Homa. This leader's good. Red, and here I think is the last red leader. Action. Tap. Deal 2 damage to your base. Attack with a unit. If it's attacking a unit, it gains +2/+0 for this attack. So this is a very, very interesting card. Like, super, like, you're dealing damage to yourself, but you are potentially clearing your opponent's things. Guys, that might save you a lot more than 2 damage, right? Like, for example, if you play out a shielded, like, if let's say I play out the 2/2 shielded, right? Like the L3, whatever it's called. If I play this with yellow, and my opponent plays out a 3/3, I can go, cool. Next action, I'm gonna use my action. I'm gonna take 2 damage to my base, and I'm gonna clear it. I've saved myself a damage by doing that, right? And I've been able to remove a unit. Like, that is an example of a trade where I super happily take that. I think, like, this is, you're going to use this when it's going to save you damage. You're not going to be spamming this. This is definitely a powerful frontside ability. The backside is nuts, though. So this is that's a crazy thing to say. Anyway, 6-drop 4/7, Overwhelm. So this unit gains +1/+0 for every 5 damage on your base. This is a 6-drop 6. This is a 6/7, right? This is definitely a 6/7, probably a 7/7, maybe an 8/7. And potentially a 9/7, right? Like, this can be a 9/7 before you lose the game. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. There's no way this isn't decent. There's no way. It's so big. It's so big. Definitely going to be relevant. We got Droidica Security. I think one more reveal after this. This is a 6-drop blue-black, 4/5, exploit 2 Sentinel. Let's not talk about the fact it doesn't have shield. There's been enough drama for it. They didn't want to print shields in the set. Fine, I think that's just a bit of an L, but whatever. How good is this card? If I play this at 2, I think it's very good. If I play this at 4, I think it's decent. If I play this at 6, it's bad. And finally, we just got some. Oh, we got some more cards as I've been talking. Okay, we'll have a look at those in a moment. We got Asajj Ventress. So action: attack with a unit. If you played an event this phase, it gains +1/+0 for this attack. So that's really, really good, because like it's just a pump on a leader. Like that's very, very strong. That's going to help you close out games. That's going to help you clear units. Like this very, very high value, like powerful effect. This deploys on 4 in yellow black. 3/4 on attack. If you played an event this phase, this unit gains +1/+0 for this attack and deals combat damage before the defender. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, firstly, surprise strike on this kills Boba on deploy, right? So just dead. So you hold a surprise strike and you instantly have an answer to Boba leader, and you get to keep your own. Okay, we immediately need to take this very, very seriously. Also, this cleanly answers Sabine as well. If you have like a shoot first or any kind of pump effect as well, right? This answers Sabine leader. This deploy comes out at the same time as those leaders. So now I'm really seriously looking at this leader. Like this seems really strong. I have game into 2 of the most powerful leaders in the game. On top of that, I have this aggro leader that I can play as aggro. I think this is probably going to be better as like a control style deck. I think you're going to play this like Boba Blue played. I think that is where this package is going to fit better, because you have your clean out to loads of leaders here. You get to play your removal spells, and it makes your leader like just this demon that's going to sit there and not die. And then you have this ability to close out games. So strong. This card is crazy to me. I think this might be my favorite leader. It's up there. It's really up there. Okay. Guerrilla Insurgency. I'm reading these for the first time. Each player defeats a resource they control and discards 2 cards from their hand. Deal 4 damage to each ground unit. I have no idea how to evaluate this card. This seems potentially devastating. I mean, it's so expensive. If this was like a 6 or a 7 cost, I'd be a lot. I don't know. I mean, this against like, you know, the fact that you can, like, if I have an established space board, this is nuts. If I have an established ground board, this is less good. I think this is probably bad, but defeating an opponent's resource is pretty nuts. Like, just holding them back a turn can be really relevant. I don't know. I think this is probably up. When we get space leaders, I think this is going to be really interesting. But yeah, this seems good. Well, it seems okay. Finally, Roger. 1 cost blue +1/+1. When defeated, attach this upgrade to a friendly battle droid token. Huh. This could be really good. This could be really, really good. If you can keep making battle droid tokens, like, you just sit there and you just make them all 2/2s. This is non-unique as well, so you can, if you could get a bunch of them, you can just keep making battle droid tokens that end up being 3/3s. Now, obviously, the counter is, okay, well, I'll just defeat the other battle droid tokens and then defeat this. This is interesting. I don't think it's necessarily going to be that good, but it's interesting. And there we go. That's it for this video. Oh my god, it was really, really long. Thank you so much for watching. Stick with me. There'll be 1 more of these card reveal videos, and then I think we're just going to go into set analysis and testing. I've got 2 more PQs, and I'll post an update on those. Check out the giveaway linked in the description. Please do sign up. We got lots of entries so far, and I want way more. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.